So hi, welcome to the Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Screamin Jack Novak from Fastest Land Animal.
And we have some questions to say about their new album, East Coast, West Coast, In Between. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
So far, so good. We're just we're excited to get out and start touring off the album, which we're going to be doing, I think, at the end of March, beginning of April.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Album's awesome.
I was going to say album rocked.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Of course. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so this is our second album that we've done with Fastest Land Animal. The first one we did right at the beginning to the height of the pandemic. So we couldn't get together. We certainly couldn't tour. There was no venues to play. There was no live gigs. But I wanted to do an album anyway. So we're all lucky enough to have home recording studios in our respective homes. I live in New York, so I'm East Coast. Our guitarist and bass player, and also our producer, are out in Arizona and California, so they're West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And then our drummer lives in Texas, so he's in between.
Oh, wow.
East Coast, West Coast, in between. And we recorded the album just like the first one remotely, and we glued it all together at the end.
Nice.
My goodness.
All right.
That's crazy. So the pandemic really didn't, I guess, affect you guys for that process, I guess.
Definitely didn't stop us from recording.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's always great, to do it the normal way and get together in a studio and play the songs together, and things can develop really organically. But we managed to figure it out, and the process was, in a lot of ways, it was a little more convenient because we didn't have to worry about traveling, getting together, going booking studio time for whatever it is, 6 weeks, and we could all work from home, and they came in especially handy when we weren't allowed to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But work from home, and we got a lot done pretty quickly. I mean, things like vocals, I nailed out all my vocals on this album in about 6 days or so.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah, we worked remotely using, there's this program called we communicated over Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
But then we use something called Audio Movers, which allows you to hear the music like studio quality and almost real time. So I could be seeing our drummer playing the parts on my computer screen while listening to him in my studio setup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Go back and say, okay, let's try it this way, let's try it that way. And then when we got down to doing vocals, everything else was done. I was in New York, Don was in California, and he was actually able to remotely access my computer and control my Pro Tools rig from 2,000 miles away, which was really cool. And I was singing the stuff, watching him control my computer through my microphone setup right next to me here.
Yeah.
So in New York. So that was technology definitely came in handy.
That's definitely one of the most intricate long distance setups that we've heard. Usually It's just we were all looking at the Logic session in Zoom,
No, we actually did it in front of each other. And we would play parts and try out things in front of each other through Audio Movers and through Zoom. Then we would all go our own ways. Whoever's job it was to do that part would do it and then come back, and then we would all listen back. But the vocals I did with Don as the producer, I did that live with him over Audio Movers and having him control my computer.
Wow. And you said vocals took you 6 days, roughly 6 days to do for the entire album.
Yeah, I think we're doing 2 to 3 songs a day.
Oh my God. Is that usually the speed you go when you're in a studio?
Well, this is the 4th album we've done with Don as producer. So I can work really efficiently with him, especially on vocals, because it's even when we were doing, back when we could go into a studio, or we did go into a studio, typically I would record vocals with him out in LA in West Hollywood at a place called Nightbird Studios, which, excuse me, is a studio in the basement of the Sunset Marquis Hotel. So it would just be me and him. He would be in the control room, I'd be in the vocal booth, and we would just go back and forth. And we really honed our skills. Don's good at getting what he needs out of me vocal wise in, not that many takes, like maybe 3 takes. And he'll know, okay, now I have what I need. This is going to be a good song. I can piece all this together, comp the vocals, as it were, in a way that's going to be a good take. And, he's really also very mellow to work with. He'll say, instead of, oh, that wasn't any good, try it again, he'll say, good take. Maybe I think you can beat it this next time. Try to beat it. But yeah, he knows what I'm capable of, and when it's the best take, and sometimes the first take's the best take. But our process, we just work really quickly together at this point.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, well, the way I've been writing songs for years now is I'm a member of something called the Song Game, which is, it's like an email chain that about 18 or so singer-songwriters are on. It was started by this singer-songwriter out of Austin, Texas, by the name of Bob Schneider.
Oh. And
he's a good buddy of mine, and I've been in this song group for years now. We've had people in and out of it that you may have heard of, like Jason Mraz is in the game. But the idea is that Bob will send out a word or a phrase every week, and within, by the end of that week, you have to write and record a song that incorporates that word or phrase. So it forces you to write every week. So by the end of the year, you have 52 songs written, and a lot of them are going to not be good, but there's probably going to be at least 8 or 10 good ones in there, or ones you can at least work with. So that's been my songwriting process for a while now. And at some point, I guess it was back at the beginning of the pandemic, I wanted to start this new band, Fastest Land Animal, that was going to be kind of punk, a little more raucous than some other projects I'd been working on. And the rule to myself was, no, I'm not allowed to record or write any songs that are slower than 150 beats per minute. So then I was doing the Song Game, and all the songs were fast. Yeah. And by the end of, however long it was, a few months, I had an album's worth of songs. So that all those songs made it to the album. And then when we were recording and touring for the first album, I kept writing songs every week. And sure enough, I had another batch of songs, which is now East Coast, West Coast, and in between. But usually when I write, I'll typically write the music first. Okay. Getting back to your question about the process. And then the lyrics will follow. And, if it's a song game, there'll be a phrase that I can build the song around that phrase, or just put that phrase or word somewhere in the song. And but I'll usually write the music, then sing along phonetically to that music, and then phrases or words will emerge, and then I'll sort of build out from there. But the music comes a little more easier to me than the lyrics. The lyrics, I like the first lyrics. Usually I rewrite lyrics over and over and over again until I get them just right. And Don's really helpful with telling me, keep writing it, go in this direction, or you're not really saying anything, you need to be stronger visually. Every once in a while, a song will come along that I'll write, and the lyrics come either at the same time as the music or quickly thereafter, and they come easily. But usually it's a process for me, rewriting lyrics.
Sure. And how many of the songs that you wrote for the weekly email chain made it onto the album? I'm just curious.
Every single song was originally derived from the Song Game.
Every single one.
Yeah. Well, we did one cover on this album, so I didn't write that one. So that did not.
Yeah.
That came from Sting.
That's crazy. I thought it was just going to be maybe 50%, 40%, because you mentioned that some of them, 8 or 10 of them are actually usable, but you've worked out your process so well that now you're able to use all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's a song a week. So whenever I'm writing a song for the Song Game.
Yeah.
So that's just, it's not like I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna write, I know I have to write a song by the end of the week, but I'm not gonna do it for the song game. I'm gonna do it for Fastest Land. It doesn't matter. It's all, it's all my stuff, and I can put it wherever I want. So,
Exactly.
and that process works for me because it forces you, the more you write, the easier it gets. It's like a muscle. Like, you got to exercise it, use it or lose it, whatever the expression is.
Absolutely. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
The one that took the longest to write is probably, there's a song called Cowboys in Nashville, that I had originally written that song like 10 years ago or something, even longer. And I just shelved it because I didn't think it was right for bands I were in at that time. And then I just didn't need it for the first Fastest Land Animal record. And then the second album, we were almost done. We needed one or two more songs. And I said to the guys, I got the song that I wrote years ago, but it's a little weird. And, I don't know if it's going to work, but can I play? And I just have like a piece of it. I didn't even finish writing it. And I played it for them. They're like, oh, that's perfect. This is exactly a Fastest Land Animal song. So that one had to be fleshed out a little longer. So a little more. So technically that took years and years to write, but I did shelve it for a while. And then I think my favorite song on the album, I do love playing that one live, Cowboys in Nashville. There's another song on there called Out of Range. That is one of the, I think, 2 songs on the album that is a little slower than 150 beats per minute. It didn't quite follow the normal Fastest Land Animal directive. But it's still pretty fast. And that was one of these songs that the lyrics came right away. There was something about the vibe of I think the song game word of that week was Tequila Blanco. And so that made the lyric. And then for some reason, I don't know, the vibe of the song just sounded like I was stuck in a border town in Texas, and I can't get home, and I'm drinking Tequila Blanco. My bags are packed. I'm ready to split. I'm stranded, and I'm out of range. And those lyrics just came to me right away. So that song was a pleasure and easy to write, and it ended up being probably my favorite track on the record.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, just shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
The sequencing, yeah, I will record the album not in order, and then I'm the one who usually at the end figures out the sequencing, and I think that's really important to me anyway. I know people consume music. It's almost gone back to a singles type business the way it was in the 50s, before people had albums. But now people are buying. I love doing vinyl. We always do vinyl releases for our records. So I think it's important to have the album unfold like a movie. Like, you put it on, you listen to the whole thing through, it has an ebb and flow, and so the sequencing is really important to me. And I'll play around with different orders of songs and listen and go back and listen and go back. But usually there's only one order that works. And it may take me a few swings of the bat to get there, but I'll get there, and then I'll just say there's no other order that works for this album. I will say that it was Don Gilmore's idea to have Run and Hide be the album opener. He just thought like that guitar part coming in with the sus chord being strummed really quickly, and the drums beeping, playing on the floor toms. He's like, that's the opener. It just sounds like the beginning of an album. So I'll give him credit for that, but the rest of it was me.
All right.
Love it. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
Well, I think when you're writing, the things that inspire me, and I think I'm stealing this thought from Billy Joel, who may have said this years ago, but if you're really, really happy or excited, or you feel that there's endless opportunity in front of you for whatever reason. I mean, it could be just walking around the corner. It could be I'm on tour and I'm visiting different people. It could be anything. but then you're inspired to write music. On the other hand, conversely, if you're really bummed out about something, like you're totally depressed, something went wrong in a relationship, or you had some sort of tragedy. We had a house fire a few years ago, and pandemic certainly was a tragedy for everyone. That'll inspire you to write music. What isn't inspiring is when you're just kind of content and everything's fine. Then it's just hard to get your brain to have your brain go to that song, but to go to that songwriting place. But so I think most of these songs I was probably excited because we had been touring a little bit finally again from the first record, and just I don't know, just hanging out. And I spent a lot of I live primarily in New York City, so just being there, looking out the window or walking around the corner, it just seems like there's always an adventure or something happening, and that inspires me a lot for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry to hear about your house fire. I just want to say that I went through a similar thing when I was younger. I just want to say it's an awful thing to go through, and I'm sorry it happened.
Thank you very much, Lori. Appreciate that. We were lucky in that no one died, no animals were injured, no human beings were hurt or killed, and the studio I'm in right now is above the garage. Somehow the fire, it was a complete rebuild of the house, which we were able to do in about a year. And it's basically the same house, but it's new. It's not the same house. Obviously, the other house was leveled. But the fire came right up to my studio door, right here where I'm sitting, and stopped. And my studio with all my guitars and keyboards and my console was not destroyed. So I was
good.
That's awesome.
Good. So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I think it's fun to listen in a group. Put it on at a party, play it loud, and just, do shots or something. I don't know.
All right.
Perfect. So this one should be
do edibles, do nothing, order Chinese food. I don't know, but just have fun.
Do everything and do nothing at the same time.
Exactly.
Perfect. So this one should be super, super quick off top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Melodic punk rock.
Perfect.
Nice.
Absolutely perfect.
Nice.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I just want them to be excited, and I want the album to make them think, wow, I got to go see this band live. I got to figure out when they're playing near me, because that's really what, for us as a band, that's what it's all about. And hopefully our tickets will be a little easier than Taylor Swift tickets to get.
Yeah. Yeah. Might not start like
that's a good problem to have if you're Taylor Swift, but not a good problem to have if you're a Swiftie, I suppose.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think you guys are going to be bringing Ticketmaster to court, but I don't know. Maybe you will. Maybe one day.
Oh, Pearl Jam. I remember years ago, Pearl Jam testified in Congress against Ticketmaster.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
They did a whole tour on like these off the beaten path venues because most of the venues are owned by Ticketmaster, or so
yeah,
it's hard to avoid.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this record?
I think my favorite memory was when we were mixing. We mixed the guy who mixed it is his name is Chris Lord Alge, and he's a very famous mix engineer, and he's great. We've done a few records with him, and I think he was given too much direction. And we were just getting kind of lost in the mix, and it wasn't coming out right. So finally, I just said to him, I said, Chris, just do what you did on the last record, because whatever that was it. Just do that again. And he goes, why didn't you say that? And then a day later, we had the album mixed, and it was perfect.
Oh my God.
It's fun. It was just, it was like a release. Like it was like, just wasn't happening. And it was because we just didn't let Chris do what Chris does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. So picture this, you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Probably going to go with beef jerky.
Ooh. Black pepper, original, or teriyaki?
Black pepper.
Classic.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with it. Perfect.
I like it. Protein and,
Gives you a little chew.
gives you a little the hunger cravings kind of thing. I also like they sell these almonds that are like I think they're Frank's Red Hot flavored almonds.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Those are a
That
little
sounds
harder
delicious.
to find. Everyone's got beef jerky of some sort.
Yeah, exactly. I've never heard of those almonds. I'm gonna have to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
These are good questions.
Thank you.
It'd probably be like spicy chicken wings or something.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's like finger foods. They're little bite-sized pieces of songs. They're not too long. It's not too serious. But each one of you get 12 chicken wings or whatever on a plate. I think we got 12 or so songs on the record. Each one's like tasty.
All right.
hell yeah.
I like that.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
My last meal would be my wife's pasta carbonara.
Oh.
And she makes the best. And my drink, I'd probably have a Johnny Walker Black.
All right.
Hell yeah. Is that a coffee or a whiskey?
That's a whiskey.
I figured
right.
as such.
I'd have a glass of whiskey.
All right.
Perfect.
Doesn't really go with carbonara. You should be drinking a nice red wine or something with that, but whatever. If I'm gonna
It's
go
your
out,
last meal.
I'm gonna go out drinking that scotch.
Exactly. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Fictional world.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Avatar world, because it's too much blue.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to live on Amity Island, where Jaws took place, but just without the shark.
So nice. Just a regular town?
Yeah, like you're living in like the Hamptons or Martha's Vineyard or something like that. Nice. It's always summer. You're at the beach. You can go sailing, play a little golf. And Amity's not a real town. It's a fictional, made-up town. So
true.
It is.
Amity, after they kill the shark, though.
After they kill the shark. Do they kill the shark? In like what, Jaws 5?
Spoiler alert, yes.
I've seen all of them. I forget because I feel like it doesn't it have like a sun and then the sun comes and kills and
they have other sharks, but the original shark from Jaws was killed at the end. But
okay,
he made so much money they're gonna have to bring back a shark, so they brought back. Yeah, there was the mother that followed them to Bahamas or something.
I can't believe you're spoiling the movie for me right now.
It's been out 20 years.
I saw it, but
you haven't seen Jaws by now. Too late. Like 75 or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. Okay. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color has got to be black. I mean, look, I'm wearing black on black.
True.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if is black not a color. Some people say, well, that's not really color. It's the absence of color.
That's literally word for word what I say.
In that attitude, too.
Yes, exactly. It's crazy.
But I don't know. Can't go wrong wearing black. That's what I say.
Fair enough.
I agree.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah. Our new album's out now. Wherever you consume music, Fastest Land Animal. East Coast, West Coast, and in between. Coming to a town near you in this spring.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you for now. It's been Screamin Jack Novak from Fastest Land Animal, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.